How solitude helps me master English speaking. Learning to speak English fluently requires great practice, and I have found that the best way to improve is by immersing myself in peaceful, remote places. That's why I often go to quiet locations such as forests, seashores, rivers, ponds, my agricultural land, and my farmhouse. These serene environments allow me to practice without distractions, giving me the freedom to focus on my pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. In these places, I engage in various techniques such as shadowing, reading out loud, listening, and speaking. The silence around me helps me hear my own voice clearly, making it easier to correct mistakes and refine my speaking skills. I have discovered that loneliness is not just comfortable but actually beneficial for deep learning. In this article, I will share my experiences and explain how solitude has played a crucial role in my journey to mastering English speaking. Why I choose solitude for learning. When learning a language, many people prefer practicing with friends or in a classroom setting. While these methods are effective, I have found that practicing alone in peaceful environments works best for me. Here is why. No fear of judgment when I practice alone. I don't have to worry about making mistakes in front of others. This removes an embarrassment and allows me to focus purely in improvement. In social settings, I used to feel nervous about mispronouncing words or using incorrect grammar. But in a quiet, isolated place, I can practice freely without any pressure. Better concentration in remote areas like my farmhouse or by the river, I am completely immersed in my learning. There are no distractions from people, phones, or city noise. This deep concentration helps me absorb new words and sentence structures more effectively. Echo and clarity in natural places like forests or open fields provide excellent acoustics. When I read out loud or practice shadowing, I can hear my voice clearly. This helps me identify whether my pronunciation matches the original speakers and make necessary adjustments. Freedom to experiment being alone gives me the space to experiment with my voice. I can try speaking in different tones, speeds, and emotions to develop a natural and expressive speaking style. In a social environment, I might feel shy about trying new words or expressions, but in solitude, I feel free to explore different ways of speaking. How I used solitude for English practice. Now that I have explained why I prefer practicing in peaceful places, let me share my methods and how they help me improve my English speaking skills. First, shadowing, mimicking native speakers. Shadowing is one of my favorite techniques. It involves listening to native speakers and repeating their words immediately, trying to match their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. I find a quiet spot in nature, like under a tree or near a lake, and play an English podcast or audiobook on my phone. I listen to a sentence, then repeat it aloud, imitating the speaker as closely as possible. I focus on copying the speaker's action, tone, and speed. This practice helps me develop fluency and confidence. Since no one is around, I can repeat sentences as many times as I need without feeling self conscious. Second, reading out loud, training my voice. Reading aloud is another powerful technique I use. It strengthens my pronunciation, clarity, and articulation. I take a book, newspaper, or even a digital article and read it out loud. If I find a difficult word, I pause, look up, and pronunciation and practice saying it correctly. Sometimes I record myself reading and listen to it later to analyze my mistakes. This method allows me to practice real life speech patterns and sentence structures. Reading in solitude helps me focus on my voice without external noise or interruptions. Third, listening and speaking practice. Listening is an essential part of language learning, and I use it activity in my practice sessions. I choose a calm location such as a river bank or a quiet farm and listen to English conversations, news reports, or audiobooks. As I listen, I repeat key phrases or summarize what I heard in my own words. I also use the pause and repeat method, where I stop the audio after a sentence and try to say it myself. This practice trains my ears to recognize natural English sounds and improves my ability to form sentences quickly. 4. Self conversation. Thinking in English. One of the most interesting exercises I do in solitude is having conversation with myself. I imagine different scenarios such as ordering food at a restaurant, explaining concept or giving a speech. I speak aloud as if talking to someone, practicing my fluency and expressions. If I struggle with the word, I pause, find the right word, and continue speaking. This technique has been incredibly helpful in improving my spontaneous speech and reducing hesitation. While loneliness is comforting for learning, some people fear loneliness, but for me, it is a source of comfort and an opportunity for deep learning. Here is how solitude enhances my English speaking skills. Inner focus and self reflection. When I am alone, I can reflect on my progress and identify areas for improvement. I analyze my strengths and weaknesses without external pressure. Mindfulness and relaxation. Learning a new language can be stressful, but practicing in a peaceful environment keeps me calm and motivated. The sound of flowing water, birds chirping, or the rustling of leaves creates a relaxing atmosphere that makes learning enjoyable. Building confidence. Practicing alone builds my confidence so that when I do interact with others in English, I feel prepared and self assured. Since I have already rehearsed speaking in solitude, I don't hesitate when speaking in real conversations. Real life improvements from my practice. Since I started practicing in peaceful places, I have noticed significant improvements in my English speaking skills. Fluency. I can now speak without long pauses or hesitation. Pronunciation. My words sound clearer and I have a better grasp of English phonetics. Listening skills. I understand native speakers more easily. Confidence. I feel comfortable speaking English in front of others. Whenever I engage in a real conversation, I remember my practice sessions and feel reassured that I have already trained my mind and voice in solitude. Encouraging others to try this method. If you are learning English and struggling to improve your speaking skills, I highly recommend finding a quiet place and practicing alone. It doesn't have to be a remote location. It can be a peaceful corner of your home, a park, or any place where you feel comfortable. Try different techniques like shadowing, reading out loud, listening, and speaking to yourself. Be patient, practice consistently, and embrace the solitude as an opportunity for growth. Language learning in a journey, and sometimes the best progress happens when we are alone with our thoughts, our voice, and our determination. Speaking English is not just about words, it's about confidence, rhythm, and self expression. Find your quiet place, practice daily, and you will see amazing results.